thing to do. And so glad to be here with all of you. I also had the great honor of being the primary writer for the California state standards, which came out. They were adopted by the state board September 6, 2018. So all that means is I got to be in the midst of these amazing people on the Standards Advisory Committee here and collaborate with them on all these great things that they are looking for to really boost computer science education in our state. And then I did a lot of wordsmithing and, basically I wanted the intro and appendix to be helpful for teachers and administrators and really advocate for computer science in California and hopefully beyond. So that's a little bit about me. I taught kinder, first, second, fifth, and sixth grades prior to my role at the county. And I am very excited to be here speaking about computer science. So I'd love to hear who all of you are and what you are interested in delving into today. So let's start with Mary.
I do go by Tessa, and
Tessa,
my Zoom name is just going to confuse everybody, and I accept that. I'm at a comprehensive high school, and I've been in the computer science game for maybe 5 or 6 years now. We have required computer science for all our freshmen and sophomores, which is a
nice.
Big deal for us. And I'm just interested in policy from a state level, what's going on in terms of graduation requirements, things like that. And just learning from everybody in the room about how to make more computer science opportunities for students. So.
Awesome. Awesome. I have a website with some resources that I'll definitely show you exactly what would be great places to go for what you're looking for as far as A to G requirements and post-secondary and things. I will say from a statewide level, we are moving forward with those slowly but surely. We are moving forward in trying to make sure that there's access and things like that. I know Julie is on here and she has been doing a lot of work with that as well. So let's see, Sandhya, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Sandhya Raman and I teach at Title I public school in Berryessa Union School District in San Jose. And like Justin said, I love KCI, and I guess I'm KCI for hashtag KCI for life or something like that. I love what you're sharing. And Katherine, it's awesome to see you again. I'm excited to hear more about your book. I was hoping
thank you.
give us a copy so we can read, not just saying, but it's good. It's always good. And I teach math and I have middle schoolers, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So I try to weave in computer science into it, but needless to say, I always run short on time. And, code.org is my go-to place for things here and there. But I'm here to listen and hear and learn more so that I can mindfully bring that in at least in the second semester of the school year.
Perfect. Yeah, there's definitely some resources that I think will be applicable to you with the integration of math and CS that we'll get to as well. So this is great to know. So I know kind of what we can focus on and support each other with. That's great. Derek, did you want to go ahead and share if you're in a place to unmute?
Yeah, sure. I'm in a place, and I'm a art teacher in Eastside Union High School District in San Jose, South San Jose, and I've got a digital arts and new media masters, and enjoyed teaching summer camp. We would do code.org process, and then also like multimedia fusion and game salad and Scratch stuff, and yeah, just looking for we're slowly working through Chromebooks, so web apps are just kind of like a vital wellspring to find that platform having programming and game design and like a code reading, code loading web applets are what we're looking for, I think.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Excellent. I love that arts integration there as well. That's great stuff. Is it, I thought I heard Sarah, Justin say Mary. Is it?
Oh, sorry, I couldn't rename myself there, but
That's okay.
Maria. I'm also Maria.
Maria. Okay, got it.
Yeah, just like Sandhya, I think I'm KCI for life also. Just to let Justin know, I've been using Pear Deck now, which I
Yay.
totally love. But I teach at Piedmont Hills High School from Eastside Union High School District. Um, I actually want, there's double purpose for me to attend this webinar. A lot of my students with autism who are in the high end of the spectrum are really into, computer graphics and web tech design. So I was hoping to get, resources from here just to share with them, what else is out there. We do have some courses in our high school that offer some computer courses, but sometimes it's very limited, especially for our population to really access. And my other purpose was that it's also for my own kids. My kids are in high school, and everything, is all towards learning about computers, coding, and all that. And my freshman actually kind of hinted that he might want to go into computer science. So,
Cool.
there's double purpose for me for this webinar.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad you're here. That's excellent. It's a good perspective to see that parent lens sometimes as well. So, in our special populations, that's so important that we have equity and access for all students. So awesome. Julie, did you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Julie. I'm just running around right now. I'm Julie, and I'm happy to be here learning with all of you today. I'm the director of CS for CA and also the director of the Computer Science Equity Project at UCLA Center X.
All right, and I have some of those resources on the website. I'm gonna I created for everyone too. So,
well, just always looking at opportunities to collaborate, to figure out what the needs are from the field and how we could be more responsive and how we can all help and support each other in our work and increasing access and equity in CS and understanding better what the challenges are of implementation and also how policy can help you at the local level. So thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important that we hear both sides and collaborate together because it's we a lot of times at the teacher level, we're not quite sure what's going on at the state and policy level, and then the state level maybe talks to county office and things like that, but do those county office people all talk to teachers and all that? So it's really a great opportunity when we are able to do this. So I do thank all of you for being here. We are going to start.
Catherine, can I jump in?
Yes, please. Oh, I didn't ask you to introduce yourself either, Justin. I'm sorry.
You're good. So Justin, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do a webinar like this is because I feel like the computer science piece is starting to get forgotten about with everything else going on with distance learning and work from home and things like that. And I felt like we were making some really good progress with it, and especially in the state of California. And I know, Julie can probably speak more to this than I can, but in terms of policy and where monies are getting allocated, what was a big push is now not. And so I think as nonprofits and other organizations like Julie's down in UCLA, and Kat working with Tulare, like I think it's just really important that we continue to give voice to computer science because that is the future. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to organize this with Kat, who is an expert with the standards and who understands kind of like who is that in between policy and practice. And so I'm really excited to hear about what Kat's going to be talking to us about. So, but I want to thank everyone for coming. I know it's an hour out of your day and it's 5 to 6 p.m. and people are hungry. So this is great. So I just wanted to throw that out there, and we'll be providing resources and everything else. So thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, I was really excited when Justin reached out because I feel the same, that with COVID and distance learning and all of the changes, there's been computer science kind of has gotten a backseat, and it's super important. So in the chat, I dropped in a link to a website that I created that we'll kind of look through. And I am glad that I heard some of you let us know what you're looking for specifically, because so then we can kind of direct you to those specific places. But I wanted to start, let me share my screen here. Hold on a sec, there we go. All right, so I wanted to start with something maybe a little bit light and a little bit fun, and I think super cute. I might be a little bit biased, but these are pictures of the cutest niece in the world, according to me. And what I want us to think about is computer science. A lot of people think of computer science as just coding, right? It's languages, and it is. Algorithms and programming is certainly the largest portion of the standards, but there's a lot more than that as well. And so what I want you to do is, if we think about, we have the concepts and practices from the framework on the right here that you can see. And I want you to think about, these are pictures of Hayden. She's 18 months old. And I want you to think about what ways she may be engaging in computer science. Any ideas that you have? You can drop them in the chat if you'd like. Or you can unmute and speak out, whichever you are most whatever you are most comfortable with. Patterns. Sure, there's lots of patterns in our coding languages, right? Motor planning. Nice, Maria, certainly. Sequence. Structural organization, excellent. Debugging, yes, as she's building with those blocks, if something doesn't work, she has to debug it and figure out why and do that again. Absolutely. The problem solving, certainly. Absolutely. So a lot of, I would argue, those algorithms and programming type of computational thinking skills in the picture on the left. And then on the picture on the right, she's actually learning about conditionals in a way, because she's learning that if I push a button, something happens. And she's also learning about computing systems. And so even though she is using the computer, so to speak, at her age, she still is starting to understand that there are reasons that when she does something, something else happens. So if this, then that. And so I wanted to start with that because all of the things that you're talking about are universal. All students can benefit from motor planning, sequence, organization, debugging, problem solving. All the things that you said can help all students, whether they want to be a computer scientist when they grow up or not. And so that's why I believe, and the Computer Science Standards Advisory Committee believes, which was, by the way, adopted unanimously by the state board on September 6, 2018. Unanimously, just saying. So from a policy standpoint there, we believe that computer science is necessary and should be accessible to each and every student in California. So again, I feel like it's everywhere. I really do. So I'd like to know too, though, why do you think that computer science is important? I'm going to share one video first of a reason that I think computer science is important for our students to know. I'm going to show a video, and regardless of what side of the aisle you are with this video, I think you would agree that it would be helpful for our students who will be making decisions for us, that they have some understanding of some computer science, cybersecurity type topics. So let me go ahead and play this for you guys.
How do you sustain a business model in which users don't pay for your service?
Senator, we run ads.
I see.
Is this guy outfoxing the foxes, or is he
Oh, I'm sorry. Goodness. There we
going
go.
along with what is a major trend in an information age to try to harvest information for political forces?
There are days when I wonder if the Facebook friends is a little misstated. It doesn't seem like I have those every single day.
So how many data categories do you store? Does Facebook store?
Senator, can you clarify what you mean?
How many does Facebook store out of that? Do you store any?
Senator, I'm not actually sure what that is referring to.
Now, my son Charlie, who's 13, is dedicated to Instagram, so he'd want to be sure I mentioned him while I was here with you.
If I'm emailing within WhatsApp, does that ever inform your advertisers?
No, we don't see any of the content in WhatsApp. It's fully encrypted.
Let's say I'm emailing about Black Panther within WhatsApp. Do I get a Black Panther banner ad?
Senator, Facebook systems do not see the content of messages being transferred over WhatsApp.
Yeah, I know, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking about whether these systems talk to each other without a human being touching it.
All right. So, regardless of whether you think that, Mark Zuckerberg is in the right or not, I think that we would agree that it's helpful for our students to understand how these things work. What does encryption mean? What does it mean that my data could be shared? When my son was a sophomore, he came home and he said, I can't believe I did this. I didn't set up a two-step verification, and so someone hacked into my Instagram account. And I thought that was so cool that he actually said that, because how many of our students have no idea what that means, especially at the lower ages, right? So this is something that I think is important for everyone, and that's just one example. I will say from, as far as the California standards specifically, something that they were based on the national CS framework. And there's a link to that on the next page over there, or on the comprehensive CS one. But I will say that the committee was felt that cybersecurity was a part that really needed to be bolstered. And so they are, in California, that is something that we're really looking to make sure that students are aware of. All right, so I would like to know, all right, just checking on time here. I would like to know why you think computer science is important. A couple of reasons. Number one, this will help us to kind of verbalize why we think that this is important, so that we can then share that with our decision makers, whether they be administrators, the board, our students, and also you could get some ideas from others as well about why computer science is relevant for kids today. Why do we need computer science education? So I'm going to go ahead and share a Jamboard with you. And so, love to hear your thoughts. If you haven't used Jamboard before, click the link and you will be able to add a Post-it with some notes. Any color you'd like that's an option there. You can put in a picture, some text, you can draw, whatever you'd like to do. So let's think about why we think CS education is important. Ooh, STEAM education, absolutely. Adding the arts in there. I love that. A lot of it does have a lot to do with CS, okay? Programming is interactive problem solving, especially if we use the pair programming method where two students are working with each other. I love that. CS allows for creativity and failure. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, understanding how information can be used for good and bad. That is certainly a portion of computer science as well that we sometimes don't think about. Patterning and sequencing is essential, certainly. Absolutely. CS education is important because all types of people need to be represented. Oh, that's excellent in making those programs and decisions. Absolutely. And that's something that CS for CA and the work that Julie's doing at UCLA are really committed to as well. Awesome. That was a great, that's great. Certainly. So absolutely, I would agree that this is all extremely important. We also have jobs that are programming jobs that are being given away to people out of state and or out of the country as well. So we really want to make sure that there are opportunities for our students as well. So thanks for engaging in that Jamboard. I want to tell you what other items are on this particular page of the website. First, I'll talk about what California, in the introduction, what California says is important about computer science education. So it's at the top here. And again, this was approved unanimously by the state board. I like to say that a lot because they're the decision makers, right? So essential component of a broad and comprehensive education. So there are both concepts and corresponding practices. That was on that first page, that first slide there. If you are familiar with NGSS, and you are familiar with math, Common Core Math, you'll know that the DCIs, the disciplinary core, disciplinary core ideas are like the content. It's the what. It's what students need to know. Whereas the practices, similar to the standards of mathematical practice or the science and engineering practices, are the how. So we have both what and how. So we're not just having students learn about computer science, we're having them actively engage. Those practices are key. And so that's something that needs to be kind of married together. It is mentioned in the standards and as well. And that's a great way to make sure that you have those kids actively engaged in that. So then we talk about opportunities for success in an increasingly competitive, globally connected economy. So there are some other, based on what you all said you're interested in kind of learning about, I'm going to go through the rest of these quickly so you can kind of see what they are and perhaps explore on your own if you'd like, and then we'll move on to another portion. So this video here is from code.org. It's really helpful for older students to see because it shows, some of you may have seen it, it shows that computer science is everywhere. It's in every industry. It's in fashion, it's in medicine, it's in agriculture. I live in a very rural area, and our students don't think that there are computer scientists in our midst. They don't know that there are programmers, there are web developers. They don't know that agriculture uses a lot of drones that need to be programmed. There's a lot of data analysis, that analyzing the soil samples and all sorts of stuff that they use computing systems to manage. So this is kind of a nice way to expand students' understanding of the opportunities in computer science. rather than what some may think of as the person by themselves in front of their computer, right? This is more than that. So that's something that would be helpful to show to kids that are a little bit older. This is the, click on it, there we go. This is gonna take you to CS for CA, which has a ton of great stuff, but this does talk about why CS is important specifically to California as well. And so if you are looking to advocate for computer science in your school, in your community, to your board, to your parents, to your students, this can be really helpful as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that in our equity session also, but all sorts of great things that you can look through here. And then I think we have time for one more funny video. You guys want to see one more funny video? Okay, it's not too long. This is another reason I think computer science is really important.
You know, we've been hearing a lot about cybersecurity lately, largely because of what happened to Sony. Companies and individuals are more concerned about the safety and privacy of their information than ever. President Obama has unveiled a number of new proposals this week to crack down on hackers, and he plans to address this in the State of the Union speech on Tuesday. And it's great that the government is working on this, but the truth of the matter is we need to do a better job of protecting ourselves. You know, the most popular password in the United States is password 123. And as long as that's the case, we're vulnerable. So today we sent a camera out on a Hollywood Boulevard to help people by asking them to tell us their password. And this is how that went.
We're talking about cybersecurity today and how safe people's passwords are. What is one of your online passwords currently?
It is my dog's name and the year I graduated from high school.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Chihuahua Papillon.
And what's its name?
Jameson.
Jameson. And where'd you go to school?
I went to school back in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
What school?
Hempfield Area Senior High School.
Oh, when did you graduate?
In 2009.
Oh, great.
It's like my cat's name and then just like a random number.
Okay. And so you had this cat for a while?
Yeah, she's my childhood pet.
Aw. And what's her name?
Her name is Jolie.
Jolie. So like a password of yours would be Jolie and then a number.
Yeah.
Like number 1?
Like my birthday.
Oh, when is your birthday?
June 12th.
Oh, nice. And what year were you born?
95.
Oh, great. So Jolie 6, 12, 95.
Yes.
Got it.
So you mean to give my password right now? No, I cannot do that.
But we all want to know what it is so we can tell you if it's strong or not.
Oh my goodness. Let me think. Okay, one is Tel Aviv. Yeah. 468, and then Israel. It's only 3, but it's, you know, it's for me it's strong enough.
Ireland 1 2 3 4. Gemma 1 2 3. Spelled Gemma.
Well, most of them are Italian.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So like
what's a good Italian password?
My grandma's name.
What's your grandma's name?
Maria.
Maria. So Maria is your password?
Oh yeah, now you know my password. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the important thing is they learned a terrible lesson. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel.
All right, so something that's interesting is with the California Computer Science Standards, the K2, they're in grade bands, K2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 12. And the K2, one of the K2 standards is that students are able to log in and log out of devices appropriately. So they need to know, I can't stay logged in here. And they also have to, thanks Julie, they also have to know the importance of passwords. So even at the kinder, first and second grade level, this is really important. So we can start this early. For sure. So let's go ahead and look at our equity and access piece. This is something that, again, this is from the introduction in the California standards. And so it does say that they're designed to be accessible to each and every student in California. K-12. So that means kindergartners, that means special populations, that means our English learners. Very important, especially those that were typically underrepresented in computer science, because we know that if I didn't see someone that I can identify with in that industry, I probably am not going to be as likely to feel like it's something for me. I myself went into a couple of, this was just last year, I went into some AP computer science classes in a local high school that I serve. And in each class, there was one female, just one. And I thought, if it were me, I don't know how comfortable I would feel with that. So I think it's really important that we as educators advocate. I will say I went to a 6th grade classroom where computer science was into different district, but that I serve, integrated into the curriculum. And I was talking a little bit about what you could do with computer science and how it could help you in the future. And I had like 3 kids, 2 of whom were girls, ask if the high school had computer science classes. So that was really exciting. And I think it's because they were exposed. If we don't expose them all from the beginning, that's going to be a little bit difficult. Also, I love how, I know Mark was talking about the arts. That's a great way to engage kids in computer science as well. What I want you to do, I find this fascinating and scary all at the same time. There is, right here, Computer Science for California. Now, this is from code.org on the left, and it has a lot of information about access to computer science nationwide, but this is about California. So if you look at this, you will see, if you scroll down a bit, there's a map. And on this map, you can actually look per county, per district, per school, and see, is computer science offered in your area? So for example, if I put, I work in Tulare County, and it's gonna just set the filters, and it says that we got an F, which actually is something I use to say, hey, we need to change this. But I'd love for you to take that, to click around on that and see if you can find where your district or county is, if you'd like. It also talks about, shows some of the inequities in different populations as well. So something you may want to look at. I'll show you some other things you can look at also on this equity access page. Again, this is nationwide data. This is from 2019 and talks a lot about computer science in there we go. And that's from code.org as well. This is excellent. This right here is going to take you to see all of the work that UCLA is doing for the sake of equity. Excellent, excellent resources here. And this is an interview with a teacher, middle school teacher in Southern California, who is using computer science in his English learner class in ELD. And so he talks a lot about how that has helped his students. So what I wanted to do is give you some time to look through some of these resources, because everyone might be interested in something a little bit different. And then what we'll do is we'll just kind of write down as if you find something interesting, just in the chat, write down something you notice and maybe something you wonder. But rather than me talking a whole bunch, and we'll have a breakout room. Well, we have a small group. Maybe we won't need a breakout room. But I'd like you to have some time to just kind of look through these resources, share with each other, and ask some questions. So let's start to explore, and we will look at some more resources together. I'll show you some other things at 5:45. So you have 6 minutes to kind of delve around a little bit. Oh yes, let me put the link in again. Certainly. There we go. How current is the data? If you're talking about the computer science for California, and this is, I will say it's a little bit deceptive because there may be computer science integrated into other courses, and that wouldn't be listed here. And so, this is taken from state level data. And so it certainly might be better than it looks, right? I believe this was 2018. The data was from 2018. So hopefully it's better now. For me, it looks real stark. So I like to use it to advocate that we need to improve. But we do know that it hopefully is going to be better than it looks. And you may notice some areas of the state have more offerings than others, more access to CS education. So I will share with you some resources about some of those districts and what they're doing so that you can see some opportunities for what different pathway programs that schools are implementing, information on A to G, post-secondary, things like that as well. All right. So if you wanted to write in the chat anything that you noticed or wondered, you can do so.
So I just included a link if you want to see some more up-to-date data around computer science. That code.org partnering with CSTA and the expanding computing education pathways partnered to create this report. And it's really detailed. And I think one of the reasons why this particular webinar, I wanted to organize this is because of what this data actually says. And the unfortunate piece is that in most states, including California, that CS is actually going backwards, not forwards, where we're losing, we're actually, the opportunity gap is widening when it shouldn't be. And so they're not quite sure if that was because of some COVID issues when they were coming up with this, but at the end of the day, it still does show quite a large gap in who we've been really trying to focus this on, which is, how do we get more Latinx students involved in CS? How do we get more Black and African American students involved in CS? And so it's, I think, and women across the board, right? And so these are the issues that we're starting to see, is that like all of this work that has been put in is now being forgotten about. And, the fear is, on my part at least, is that all of a sudden, if we don't start putting this stuff into everyday classwork, like I know Tessa worked really hard with her students and her school to create an integrated math and computer science program. And I'd be interested to hear how that is going, actually, Tessa. And so that's the kind of things that I think we need to start doing, because it's just not good enough having 2 elective classes that you can enroll in. It's too late by the time you get to high school. So how do we continue to do that at an earlier age? So, but yeah, I'd be interested, Tessa, to hear where your school is at with the math and CS.
I'm really interested in this data. We are continuing to teach computer science for all 9th and 10th graders. We unlinked it from math because the math teachers were never prioritizing the computer science. And we integrated computer science in middle school STEM classes, is the move that we went toward. So we're continuing to learn and grow. But that's kind of where we're at. I'm really interested in the current state of data science. I think there's some interesting opportunities in California right now, and how that bridges some of the math and computer science.
Yes. So, I mean, you may be aware of some of this, but the Joe Bowler is working on the new math framework, and she has spoken about the need for data science to be really emphasized in mathematics, high school mathematics, and also, let's see, there are, where is it? I know I put it in here. There's some information. Oh, I think it might be here. There, data science is now, so I know there was a question about A to G, and there's all sorts of information here about, I was looking at it, as far as where they fit in. But I know that I read something just recently that was talking about, I feel like the UCs are doing a good job of saying, okay, now computer science can be counted as your third year of science, which our NGSS folks don't like, but and with data science, it looks like they're moving toward allowing that as an additional year of math as well. There's lots of policies changing a lot all the time, but on this one, the implementation resources, right under access where it says California A to G post-secondary connections, there's a lot of answers specifically to that question that kind of stay updated to keep you abreast on all of that. It's tricky too because we have CTE as well. And there's credentialing issues. I'm not sure if you guys are I see some nods, right? So depending on how something is coded, someone needs a specific type of credential to teach that. And then sometimes funding is an issue as well. Maybe there's more funding for CTE, but that particular teacher has either the CS supplement to their credential, which is available now, or they have a math single subject, which allows them to teach CS as well, which most math teachers tell me, are you kidding? I wouldn't know what to do. But it is what it is. There has been talk with CTC, California Teacher Credentialing, about the desire to have a single subject offering for CS. Right now it's just talk, but it has been something that they've been looking into. So I think that that's good news, because if we don't have anyone to teach any of this, you know, that's going to be a problem as well. So, let's see, did you have anything else, Tessa, you wanted to add about the data science, or is that?
I believe so. The recent guidance that came from the UCOP was that the data science is going to now count as a third year math, which is a really big deal at high school.
Huge.
So in terms of access, so I'm interested in kind of the courses that are being written. I'm really aware of Joe Bowler's. I think UCLA Center X has a course as well. And so I was I think the credentialing issues are really important. I think as Justin was saying, we had math teachers teaching computer science and their identity was really as math teachers, and we've shifted to CTE teachers, which is, you know, everything's like in the context of distance learning now, but which has been big, and the college and career indicators that students can get going that way is there's incentive in the state to do that, but obviously shortage of teachers across the board. So thank you for addressing all those things. That's
what's interesting as well is I know I saw Joe Bowler at CISC like late February, the California Computer Curriculum Instruction Steering Committee at that conference in February, which was end of February, right before all COVID hit. And she was talking about creating curriculum that was free for data science. I don't know where she's at in that process, but I thought that's something she wants to do, is like provide a lot of this stuff for free, which is excellent. So good things are happening. They certainly, as Justin said, have slowed. But yeah, it's definitely starting to move in the right direction, I think. But there's a lot of advocacy we can still do. Maria, absolutely. Data science, and Joe Bowler was talking about this, that data science, that's what kids need for the real world. And she had all of these statistics and all this information about the businesses, not of the future, but the business of today, are not asking for trigonometry and calculus. They're asking that students understand data science. So it's definitely something that hopefully will get a lot more traction as we move forward. This is I do want to talk just a moment about what this comprehensive CS page is. Just kind of talks about what computer science is. These top two here are from the standards introduction. But there are many people that believe that computer science is just coding, and through no fault of their own, perhaps. And so I just wanted to, I wanted to share this little graphic here. I was inspired to create this. First of all, I wanted people to kind of understand, that don't know much about computer science, to kind of understand that there are 5 different concept areas and different things included in CS besides just coding. But also, Jake Chips, who was on the Standards Advisory Committee, said, if computer science were a body, impacts of computing would be the heart. And that impacts of computing is about, how do I make sure that when I am creating a computational artifact, or when I am analyzing an actual an artifact, and how it affects others ethically, those impacts of computing standards were really important to the committee. So they really worked hard on those. But that's something that really is a lot about social science as well, right? This is something that can fit in there. It's about citizenship. Of course, our algorithms and programming, breaking down tasks into like to-do lists, networks in the internet, data and analysis, which we've got our data science there, and then computing systems. So just kind of a graphic for those that are, if you have colleagues that are kind of unfamiliar with what computer science encompasses, so much more than many think. So Sandhya, hopefully I remembered to say her name correctly. Oh, perfect. LA colleagues that say it's ridiculous that CS is getting priority over second language.
And that's language arts, not Los Angeles. So just.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Good clarification. Well, it's kind of funny because, I'm not saying languages aren't important, but computer science, has different coding languages. They're called languages, first of all.
No. I'm not saying it's bad.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you're saying it. Right.
I'm all for learn 72 languages if you can. I'm all up for that. But I'm just saying that they are finding that that traction, because in high school they're making them choose. And going back to what you all have been saying, I really disagree that computer science should be an elective. It should be something that's required at least so many hours in every single student's schedule. It's definitely something we as California should definitely stand up for that. So thank you for all the work you're all doing. It's been good to hear that.
Yeah, I would agree that it is a necessity, but it's, we build a little bit as we can, we advocate and see what we can do. I will say that I want to show you some of these resources before we close out as well. So here on this implementation resources, I know this is what a lot of you were looking for. Here's some examples. These were compiled by Emily Thumford, who was at the, Santa Clara? No, not Santa Clara.
He was at San Mateo County office.
San Mateo, thank you. I knew it wasn't Santa Clara or Santa Cruz. Thank you. So San Mateo County Office of Ed, she was there and compiled examples of CS pathways. She's done a lot for computer science education as well. This script program has kind of like a rubric or like a planning guide to help your district to determine how can we include CS education in our district. I also wanted to show you, this is a link to the California Standards Appendix. It says draft, but what happened is they had to rework things. They had to rework it to, the only thing that's different in this is the way it looks, the formatting that they're working on the PDF at the state, and also the visual arts standard, or excuse me, the arts standards, new art standards came out, but we felt it was extremely important to make sure that those were included in our interdisciplinary connections. And so that's why it has taken longer for this to come out. I know, don't get me started, September 2018, I know. It was a long time ago, but essentially it's gonna be pretty much the same thing. So this has a lot of ideas on how you could implement computer science in schools. Also, some of you were asking about, there's all those AG post-secondary connections. This is just a podcast of a whole bunch of people talking mostly, not so much, I talk a little bit about policy level in California, but a lot of this is practitioners in the field that are teaching computer science largely in an integrated fashion. So if you're interested in listening to some of that, I would recommend listening to this podcast. The standards were designed to be interdisciplinary in nature. And so to get people to teach computer science, or if you're looking for arts, for example, and where is that going to fit in, Derek? If you click on this, this is all in the standards as well, but this was created by Martz Lanzenberger. It's incredible. It shows all of the information from the standards as far as, and it has the old VAPA standards currently, because these haven't been released yet, but it shows all of the different, like if you say I teach, and I know we're like out of time right now, I just want to finish up showing you guys these resources real quick. So if I teach K2 and I'm looking at ELA, oh, this standard has some ideas for, these particular other interdisciplinary connections and things like that. Even librarians, model school library standards are in here, health standards are in here. This is the most interdisciplinary standards document in California that has been made as of yet.
Kat, is this Padlet included in the link that you shared with us?
Yeah, it's on this one. It's on the implementation resources, and it says integration opportunities. And then real quick, these are just some like curriculum ideas. Code.org's on here, but here's other opportunities you could look for too. I know some of you were saying, how do I get past code.org? These are some other resources. Mathematics specifically, Joe Bowler endorsed PolyUp. It is teaching computational thinking through mathematics, all grade levels. So just some different pieces that you can look at here. All right, so there is a feedback form. I'm so excited that you all were here in this conversation with me and that you're advocating for CS. Justin, do you want to briefly, I'll put the feedback form in there, but did you want to talk about our upcoming opportunities?
Oh yeah, I put the survey up there, Kat. So it's in the chat. From December 8th to December 10th, we're going to be doing a free computer science workshop. I think actually everybody here is signed up for it, minus Tessa. But Tessa, please share that with your colleagues. I don't know if I sent a newsletter out. So if you have that, feel free to share with anyone, anywhere. It's free. It's open to anyone. So Kat will be running it, but it's sponsored by the YWCA Silicon Valley and their program called Curated Pathways, which is a neat program that they provide to to teachers and to districts to help students kind of like work through like the school to career pathway of computer science. And they specifically focus on girls and students and underrepresented minorities. So that's so it's a really exciting program, and that's going to be only part of it. Most of it's going to be Kat talking about other ways to look at computer science. So it's going to be really exciting, and I think several you guys are going to mostly be here. But and Tessa, if you need me to send you the link again, I'm more happy to do that.
Catherine, can I just share something? Yeah, funny you shared that picture of your niece with your with the Lego blocks, because I actually got a grant from CTA, from the Institute for Teaching,